If your playing falls apart when your hands and feet are doing different things, your coordination isn't the real problem. It's how you're practicing it or that you're not practicing it at all. In this video, I'll show you the 3 exercises that actually build 4-way coordination and how to practice them. Now, I didn't go through endless coordination exercises. What I did was focus on a few core ones my teachers had me play over the years, and those are exactly what built my 4-way coordination the most. So first off, let's talk about foot ostinatos. They are a great way to practice 4-way coordination, and I am going to show you 3 most common ones that drummers use, and I've personally practiced with all of them. I forgot my neat little headphones, so I have to use these ones today. But the first ostinato, I'm going to use a metronome here, is plain and simple quarter notes on the bass drum, 2 and 4 on the hi-hat. So that's pretty straightforward and beginner friendly as well. The second ostinato is the Samba ostinato. And the third one is Baiao. But it's not really about the ostinatos, because the ostinatos, I'm pretty sure that any drummer can learn them on their own if they just practice a little while. The true problem is always when we start adding something else on top of these ostinatos. So the complexity of the exercise mainly comes from adding things on top of these ostinatos. Of course, if you've never practiced 4-way coordination this way, it's best to start with really simple rhythms. But as you go along and become better, you can choose more complex ideas that you play on top of these ostinatos. And basically, it feels like the sky is the limit in terms of how difficult you want to make these exercises to be. But I think that many drummers might have practiced this type of exercises using the Syncopation book. And I've lost my covers from this book. If you own one, it's a great book to use, but it's not the only way you can practice 4-way coordination. And especially if you're practicing mainly on your own, or you're not that comfortable reading music, there are better options perhaps that you can use to practice. But the main idea is that you have an ostinato and then you play different rhythms with your hands on top of it. So in this first part of the exercise, I'm going to play quarter notes, 8th notes, and 16th notes on top of each of these ostinatos. Now, in terms of how difficult those feel, the first one is definitely the easiest one, and the second two ones are way more difficult. So I would say that if you are a beginner, it's best to stick with the first ostinato mainly as you move along with these exercises, because they are significantly more difficult, these Samba and Baiao ostinatos. The feel of the rhythm is so different with each of these ostinatos, and that's what makes these ostinatos so good in terms of practicing the limb exercises, because the rhythms are really quite difficult ones, especially the Latin type of ostinatos. They are always more difficult, and whatever you choose to play on top is gonna feel so much different in each of these ostinatos. So that's like the first step that you can do. Choose very simple rhythms and just play them on the snare drum using these foot ostinatos. But as I mentioned, I've practiced from the Syncopation book a lot. And what that essentially means is that you have different rhythms that you are reading and playing with your hands, and then you play the ostinato underneath. And for that, you can use the rhythm bot, J.P. Bouvet's rhythm bot. It's a tool that you can create quite similar, or actually very similar rhythms using the app. So you don't have to have the book if you don't have one. So firstly, choose complexity 1. And the tempo could be around 60, not too fast. It can be 60 or 65 as I'm having right now. And then you can choose random rhythm. And with complexity 1, there are only quarter notes, quarter note rests, and eighth notes that are being used. So there's an example of how you can use just to read the rhythm, or if you're not comfortable reading, you can just hear the rhythm and you will learn to read as you go through these exercises. Let's take another rhythm, and this time I'm going to use the Samba ostinato. Then another one, I'm going to use the Baiao. So there you go. There's an example of really basic exercises. These are not too complicated things that you're going to play with your hands at this level. But it doesn't mean that it's easy, because every time you have a difficult foot ostinato, even the simple rhythms might feel really difficult in the beginning. So don't worry if it does, because that's quite common. Now, in terms of where can this all go? Because now we are just playing simple rhythms. But as you move along with your skills, and especially if you've already checked out some basic hand coordination thing, then you know how to play ghost notes and all that kind of things. Then you can start using ghost notes as part of the things that you are playing with your hands. So here's an example of a rhythm, and now we're going to choose the first ostinato. So this one is quite advanced already, and it requires that you first of all know what you're going to do with your hands. And if you don't know what you're going to do with your hands, it's going to fall apart for sure. But if you've already worked with this kind of stuff, then you absolutely can practice ostinatos on top of these hands. And this was, by the way, complexity 4. So we went quite quickly to this stage, but it obviously takes time to get you from level 1 to level 4, especially using ghost notes. So this is a journey. It's not going to happen overnight. It took me years to practice all these different ostinatos and different things to play on top of them. And I'm still not ready. Like, I could probably use some of this practice right now, since I've not done that in a while. But just to know, it's not a quick fix, but you can easily start with these instructions. But here's the thing, if your hands are too tense, none of this will actually work. So next, watch this video where I show you how to fix your grip and play more relaxed.